Happy Halloween from Comic In TV. Today on the show, we're taking a look at the pop movies Dracula. Hey guys, welcome back to Comic In TV, the only place on YouTube where all geek culture collides. I'm Shannon, and as I said today on the show, we're taking a look at the pop movies number 1152, Dracula, in preparation for the Halloween season. So this one, I do already have the pop out of the box. I'm going to be taking him to work with me once I get my new office to display on my desk, along with another pop I'll be showing you in the weeks ahead. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box real quick. Here's a nice image of Bela Lugosi as Dracula on the side. See how there's some trees behind him, some mist or fog below him. Very reminiscent of the Universal Studios film from 1931. So here's the front. As you can see, it's empty. As I said, I've already got them out of the box. This was a Walgreens exclusive. And this is the white box version. As you can see, the yellow box versions have special editions added to them. For Dracula, the yellow box version has his teeth painted on with some kind of blood dripping off his mouth. But I saw this one on Amazon. I did not see the yellow box version. And I decided to get this. I am a fan of the Universal monsters from my earliest memories. I remember my cousin used to have the original Universal monsters figures. You know, the ones with, I think there was maybe 2 or 3 points of articulation, very stiff. There was Dracula, the Mummy, Frankenstein's monster, and I believe Wolfman. They were, I want to say they were as big as a pop. Very stiff, not much articulation to them. And I remember playing with them every time we went over to my cousin's house. From my understanding, he still has them in storage somewhere. I'd like to get my hands on those. I'll throw a picture in over this real quick to show you guys the figures I'm talking about. We watched Dracula and Frankenstein a few years ago. It was on streaming. The quality that we watched wasn't that great. I'm hoping to find a better quality this year to watch with my daughter. I don't know if it was because of the conversion from its original format into HD or whatever. I don't even think we were watching the HD version, but it was still kind of blurry. So we'll see. I found some on Amazon Prime that we're going to give a try. I have not watched the Wolfman or the Mummy yet, the originals. I may have watched the Wolfman once when I was younger, but I haven't since I got old enough to really appreciate it. So I'm looking forward to watching those this year. I don't know. I'm kind of becoming disenfranchised towards Halloween since the introduction of streaming. Halloween just hasn't been the same. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, there was always Halloween specials. Our favorite TV shows always had Halloween episodes. All through the month of October, we would prepare for Halloween by watching all these movies and TV shows with Halloween episodes. And you just don't get that anymore. I've been looking on streaming services, trying to find Halloween specials and stuff like that. And they're very few and far between. All the ones I was able to see, we've seen probably 1,000,000 times already. And I'd kind of like to find some new ones. We start every Halloween season in the month of September, as when we start decorating and start watching Halloween movies. And we start with the Scream franchise. And yeah, we finished the Scream franchise, and I tried watching Rob Zombie's The Munsters. My wife and I got about halfway through it, and we couldn't tolerate anymore. I'm a huge Munsters fan, and seeing what Rob Zombie did to that franchise, while also calling himself a Munsters fan, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way. And don't get me wrong, I've always been a Rob Zombie fan, but his films are very hit and miss. I don't think he does humor very well. A lot of the acting was very forced. The only one who did a halfway decent job was, I forget the actor's name, but he played the Count, or Grandpa Munster. I just didn't care for his mustache. But that's neither here nor there. So let's get back to this review. So there's the front. There's the other side. There's the top. And then here's the back. And you have Frankenstein's monster, which is 607. The Bride of Frankenstein, which is 1151. Yeah, 1151. Dracula and the Wolfman. They really should say Frankenstein's monster on there. And I want to say the Bride should have been renamed to the Bride of Frankenstein's monster. But maybe they named it the Bride of Frankenstein because Frankenstein created the bride. Typically, she is just known as the bride, so we'll let that pass. And as you can see, these are just the standard issue Universal Monsters pops. They aren't the yellow box ones, so let's go ahead and move this out of the way, and we'll take a look at Bela Lugosi's Dracula. So as you can see here, it's just a standard pop, not a bobblehead or anything like that. Standard articulation. He does have his hands out in kind of that Dracula pose. He has a cape. The cape is a kind of a thin plastic, but it seems to be kind of brittle, so I'm not going to move it all that much. There's some nice detail on his shirt. You've got his little metal necklace, whatever you want to call it, brooch. I forget the actual name of it. You got the yellow buttons on his vest, white buttons on his shirt. You got the cape. And yeah, the hair sculpt is very nice, very slicked back looking. Very nice. I can't wait to collect all the Universal Monster pops and display them all at on my desk at work. I did just get hired on full-time at my internship site. I'll be starting part-time until I graduate in December. And then once I graduate, I'll be moving to full-time. So I'll no longer have to share an intern office. I will have my own window office. So I can't wait to be able to decorate it the way I want. So yeah. Not much to this review. Not a whole lot of detail to Dracula. I do eventually want to get the yellow box version. Maybe get the yellow box version of all of them, as well as the Walgreens exclusive ones. Just so that I have one for home and one for the office. So yeah, there you have Bela Lugosi as Dracula. Pop Movies 1152 Dracula. Walgreens exclusive.
Happy Halloween.
If you enjoyed that video, make sure to check out one of these two playlists for more videos just like the one you just watched. I've been Shannon. This has been Come Again TV, the only place on YouTube where all geek culture collides. Take care, geeks.